This is an article about a present administrative unit of Poland. For historical units, see History of Podlaskie Voivodeship. Podlaskie Voivodeship is a voivodeship in northeastern Poland. It borders on Masovian Voivodeship to the west, Warmian-Masurian Voivodeship to the northwest, Lublin Voivodeship to the south, the Belarusian Voblasts of Grodno and Brest to the east, the Lithuanian counties of Alytus and Marijampolė to the northeast, and the Kaliningrad Oblast of Russia to the north. Its capital is Białystok. It was created on January 1, 1999, out of the former Białystok and Łomża voivodeships and the eastern half of the former Suwałki voivodeship, pursuant to the Polish local government reforms adopted in 1998. Etymology: the voivodeship takes its name from the historic region of Poland called Podlaskie. There are two opinions regarding the origin of the region's name. People often derive it from the Slavic lesalas, meaning forest, i.e., it is an area by the wood, or an area of forests, which would bring Podlaskie close in meaning to adjacent Polesia. This theory has been questioned, as it does not properly take into consideration the vowel shifts a and gt, e and gt, I in various Slavic languages. Heavily wooded Podlaskie is home to the primal Białowieża forest and national park, habitat of the European wizened bison and tarpan. A second view holds that the term comes from the expression Podlakiem, i.e. under the Poles. Some claim it to mean under Polish rule, which does not seem historically sound, as the area belonged to the Grand Duchy of Lithuania until 1569, and the southern part of it until 1795. A better variant of the latter theory holds that the name originates from the period when the territory was within the Trakai Voivodeship of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, along the border with Mazovia province, primarily a fief of the Poland of the Piasts, and later part of the Kingdom of Poland of the Jagiellons. Hence Podlakiem would mean near the Poles, along the border with Poland. The historical Lithuanian name of the region, Palanka, has exactly this meaning. History: the voivodeship was created on January 1, 1999, out of the former Białystok and Łomża voivodeships and the eastern half of the former Suwałki voivodeship, pursuant to the Polish local government reforms adopted in 1998. Geography: it has a varied landscape, shaped in the north by Baltic glaciation, the rest by Middle Poland glaciation. The highest peaks are in the north, where the landscape is dominated by a hilly lake district, Lakeland, Zachodnio-Suwalski, Wschodnio-Suwalski, Elki, and Sandrowy Lake district in the central and southern pre-glacial plains prevail, varied in topography with small basins and river valleys. Kirpy lie on the west edge of the outwash plains, sand, gravel, clay, moraine, and in the valleys and basins of the rivers silt, sand and river peat predominate on the surface. Environment: the vast forests, some of which are the only ones in Europe to have retained their original character, contain unique wealth of flora and fauna. The vegetation of the region is extremely diverse, which contributes to the richness of the animal world. Visitors can also see moose, wolves, lynx and bison living in the Białowieża forest and Nysin forest. Podlaskie has the lowest population density of the 16 Polish voivodeships, and its largely unspoiled nature is one of its chief assets. Around 30% of the area of the voivodeship is under legal protection. The Polish part of the Białowieża Forest Biosphere Reserve is in Podlaskie. There are 4 national parks, 3 landscape parks, 88 nature reserves, and 15 protected landscape areas. The voivodeship constitutes a part of the ecologically clean area known as the Green Lungs of Poland. Climate. Podlaskie has a warm summer continental hemiboreal climate according to the Köppen climate classification system, which is characterized by warm temperatures during summer and long and frosty winters. It is substantially different from most of the other Polish lowlands. The region is one of the coldest in Poland, with the average temperature in January being -5 degrees Celsius. The average temperature in a year is 7 degrees Celsius. The number of frost days ranges from 50 to 60, with frost from 110 to 138 days and the duration of snow cover from 90 to 110 days. Mean annual rainfall values oscillate around 550 mm, and the vegetation period lasts 200 to 210 days. Podlaskie is the coldest region of Poland, located in the very northeast of the country near the border with Belarus and Lithuania. The region has a continental climate which is characterized by high temperatures during summer and long and frosty winters. The climate is affected by the cold fronts which come from Scandinavia and Siberia. The average temperature in the winter ranges from -15 degrees Celsius to -4 degrees Celsius. Subdivisions and Białystok Metropolitan Region. Podlaskie Voivodeship is divided into 17 counties, 3 city counties and 14 land counties. These are further divided into 118 gminas. Metropolitan Białystok was designated by the Voivodeship of the Regulation No. 5205 of 16 May 2005 in order to help economically develop the region. In 2006, the metropolitan area population was 450,254 inhabitants. It covers an area of 1.521 km². For 1 km², there are about 265 people. Among urban residents are more women 192,000. On 100 men, 108 women on average. The municipalities adjacent to Białystok are slowly erecting the dispensaries and losing their agricultural character, becoming the residential suburban neighborhoods. Demographics. Podlaskie is the land of the confluence of cultures, Polish, Belarusian, Ukrainian and Lithuanian, and is indicative of the ethnic territory's limits. Eastward of Podlaskie lie historic Polish lands and non-Lithuanian lands too. Today, mainly Polish and Ruthenian is spoken in Podlaskie, while Lithuanian is preserved by the small but compact Lithuanian minority concentrated in the Szczecin county. At the end of 2009 in Podlaskie Voivodeship there were 1,189,700 inhabitants, 3.1% of the total population of Poland. The average density of the population, the number of the population per 1 square kilometer, was 59. The urban population in the same period was 60.2% of the total number of inhabitants of the voivodeship, where the percentage of females in the total population amounted to 51.3%. A statistical inhabitant of Podlaskie was 37.7 years old, whereas in 2008 37.5 years old. The latest population projection predict consistent decrease in the population in Podlaskie Voivodeship. In the next 26 years it will decrease by 117,000 persons due to the aging of the population. Transportation. Culture. Podlaskie is the most diverse of all Polish voivodeships. The area has been inhabited for centuries by members of different nations and religions. Poles, Jews, Belarusians, Lithuanians, Ukrainians, Russians, Gypsies, Lipka Tatars and Philippians. Many places of religious worship remain. An 18th-century former Carmelite monastery on Wigry Lake. A former Jesuit complex in Drohichin. Christ's Transfiguration Orthodox Church on the Holy Mount of Grabarka. St. Nicholas the Miracle Worker Orthodox Church in Białystok, a 17th-century synagogue in Tykocin, the oldest Polish mosque in Kruszyn. Historic sites: Middle Ages Street, Michael and John the Baptist Church in Łomża. Renaissance: the ruins of the royal castle in Tykocin. The Jewish cemetery in Tykocin. Monastery of the Annunciation in Suprasil. Baroque Dominican convent of the Visitation of the Blessed Virgin Mary Church in Szczecin. Old Parish Church in Białystok. Synagogue and the Talmud House in Tykocin. Trovichkowicz Carmelite Monastery with the Church of Our Lady of Mount Carmel in Voivodeship.Podlaskie. Branicki Palace in Białystok. Summer residence Branicki in Koryszec. Holy Trinity Church in Tykocin. Church of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary in Siemiatykas. Monastery of the Dominican Church of St. and St. John the Baptist, Stephen Martyr in Koryszec. Capuchin Monastery in Łomża. Old Town Hall in Voivodeship.Podlaskie. Sokolki Palace in Pawłowice near Sokolka. Synagogue in Orla. Bernardine Monastery in Tykocin. The Team Stałowski Franciscan Monastery. Classicism Basilica, Birth of the Virgin and St. Nicholas in Voivodeship.Podlaskie. Cathedral of St. Nicholas in Białystok. Church of SDS. Kolnian. Co-Cathedral of St. Alexander in Suwałki. Classical brick mansion in Malyplot. Church of SDS Antony in Sokolka. Cemetery Cathedral in Łomża. Synagogue in Grodno. 19th century Lubomirski Palace in Białystok. Hasbak Palace in Białystok. The Palace and Park in Buchholzau Suprasil. Team Becker Factory in Białystok. The Fencing Gate Parafielno Municipal Cemetery in Grodno. Church in the parish and Catholic parish in Grabowo. The Jewish Cemetery in Grodno. The Jewish Cemetery in Stałowski. Parish Church P.W. St. Adalbert in M. The Team Male Stałowski. Neo-Baroque bell tower at the Church Brick Church. St. Anne Colony. Buildings of the Monastery of SS. Benedictine in Łomża. Church of the Assumption in Łomża. Roman Catholic Cemetery in White. Church of the Holy Trinity in Zambrów. Church of the Holy Trinity in Grodno. Church of SDS. John the Baptist in Wysokie Mazowieckie. Building Seminar in Łomża. Town Hall in Łomża. Numerous monuments. Street Dworny in Łomża. Manor in Łownówka. Basilica of the Assumption in Białystok. The Church of St. Adalbert in Białystok. The Church of St. Rocha in Białystok. Church of the Sacred Heart of Jesus in Augusto. The Church of Our Lady of Czestochowa and St. Casimir in Monkey. Saints Church of the Apostles Peter and Paul in Lappi. Fortress in Osowie. Polish Tatar wooden mosque and Muslim cemetery in the village of Bohoniki. Economy. The following are general economic indicators for Podlaskie Voivodeship. Population 1,190,735. Average paid employment in enterprise sector 95,896. Average monthly gross wages and salaries in enterprise sector 2,813 zlotys and 5 gross. Unemployment rate 12.0%. Dwellings completed in November 2009 to 661. Procurement of milk 126.8 mlnl. National economy entities from the REGON register, excluding persons tending private farms 89,654. According to REGON register in the year 2002 there were around 95,000 companies registered in Podlaskie region, dealing with trade and servicing 33.2%, providing services to real estates and companies 11.8%, Construction 10.5%, industrial processing 9.7%, transport 8.3%, agriculture, hunting and forestry 4.5%. Agriculture arable land constitutes around 60% of the total area of the region, most of which is plowland, forests, meadows and pastures. Over 120,000 farms are registered, roughly half of which are small farms of 1 to 5 hectares and medium-sized farms of 5 to 10 hectares. The smaller farms prefer intensive production, whereas the larger ones engage in cattle and crop production. The cattle-raising farms are mainly oriented towards milk production. The natural conditions of the region are conducive to the development of organic growing, which at present is practiced by around 100 farms. Over 600 farms in the region offer agri-tourist services. Government. The voivodeship's seat is the city of Białystok. Like all voivodeships, it has a government-appointed provincial governor, as well as an elected regional assembly and of the executive elected by the assembly, headed by the voivodeship marshal. Administrative powers and competences are statutorily divided between these authorities. Cities and towns. The voivodeship contains 40 cities and towns. These are listed below in descending order of population.